Meatflation is rocking the nation.
Makes me wanna stay up here and be roly-poly.
I was eating a burger.
UFC, Mexico's a sizzling showdown. We run the town.
Cool Boys, episode 209, UFC Mexico City. Last week, Meat Boy was UFC London, and you kind of killed it. You went 4-1. Your boy went 2-3. Let's quickly recap what went down. If you are here for the Mexico City locks, head straight to the comments. Look for the timestamps and move forward with the Mexico City meat locks. But nonetheless, Meat Boy, what'd you make of UFC London? Your boy Sean Brady, you were all over it. You said he'd get it done by submission. He did just that. What stuck out to you from overseas?
Yeah, no, Sean Brady, Sean Brady got it done very convincingly, very easily. He did way better than I expected. I thought he would win by submission, but he was going to win decision or submission, which was very impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was start to finish an absolute beatdown, and had that fight gone 7, 8 more minutes, then it would have been unanimous and likely all 5 rounds for Sean Brady. So definitely didn't see that coming. I picked Leon. I thought it would be at least a much closer fight, but kudos to Sean Brady. Absolutely a statement fight, and really just a picture perfect moment for him. You wonder what's next. Maybe a title fight in 2025 for sure. But the co-meet was Olberg versus Jan Blachowicz. I thought it was a close fight. I honestly thought Jan maybe did enough to win, but it was unanimous for the Black Jag. If you look at the comments, even on Olberg's post-fight interview, it's all Jan Shills. They say robbery. So what'd you make of that co-meet? And is Olberg going to get a title shot next, or is he just a little bit too uninspiring on the mic and not really selling himself to get that opportunity at least anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm a big Olberg fan. You could even say I'm a shill, but man, is he a full-fledged dork. He absolutely fumbled the bag on that opportunity. He could have, got new fans or something, but he decided to do nothing with it and just be very lackadaisical, flaccid mentality, and just like, okay, like that was lame. And then nobody cares the next day. No one's even talking about it except for it was a robbery, which, that's, for your own opinion. But Olberg, I don't know. I don't know who he should fight, but getting a title shot just randomly, not even cutting a mic promo, he ain't getting a title shot. Trust me, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like a great win, unanimous over a former champ, over a fan favorite in a packed house in a co-main event. The opportunity was there to solidify that title shot, but not really sure he moved the needle much on that opportunity. But nonetheless, a great win still. You wonder what's next? Maybe Jamal Hill, maybe even Poatan, who knows? But we'll see, because I don't think the UFC is going to do him any favors based on how that was handled. But some other interesting ones, Kevin Holland fought Gunnar Nelson. We were both all over that one. Kevin Holland as a dog. Kevin Holland looked inspired, almost got a first-round finish. A lot of grappling, a really fun fight, and a great win for Kevin Holland. I kind of hope he stays at 170 because it seems like it forces him to be a little bit more dialed. And when he's dialed, he looks great, and it's always a fun fight. And the fight against Morgan Charrier versus Nathaniel Wood, we called that one Nathaniel Wood as a dog. So we were all over some beautiful dogs in Nathaniel Wood, in Kevin Holland. But we meatlocked Mick Parkin, our boy Meat Larkin, and it was against Marcin Tybura, the OG of all OG meatheads. So I guess it was a slice of humble pie, a nice reminder to, similar to how Thermopylae says, never bet against a Georgian underdog. At Meat Boy MA, you simply can never pick against Marcin Tybura. So what'd you make of the L of a meat lock? Did you think Mick Parkin won? I mean, the fight was close. What'd you make of Tybura versus Mick?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a close fight, and not trying to be biased, but I thought Mick slightly won, but it wasn't no robbery whatsoever. It just shows on how legit Tybura is, and I feel bad for fading him, and he just had to punish us for doing that. But it's just he truly is the levels test of the heavyweight. So as we saw, we overcalculated on McParkin, Larkin, not Lock. And he just has to go back to the drawing board, level up with Tom Aspinall. But yeah, I guess he's not ready for that next level because if you can't beat Tib, you're not ready for these top 10 guys.
Yeah, the ultimate levels test is Tybura for sure. But nonetheless, Meat Boy, London is in the rear view. We're back to Mexico City this weekend. You ready to swap us through?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's get straight into the meat lock.
Yeah, move us through because it's the homie Lazy Boy, Ronaldo Rodriguez, as this week's meat lock, and we simply like him. We like the odds. -142 is Lazy Boy taking on Kevin Borjas, who is also a hyped up prospect and is a dude who is 9-3. But since being in the UFC, although the fights have been close, he hasn't yet won a contest and hasn't really looked to be much of a winning fighter since that Contender Series victory over Victor Diaz, who is not a great fighter. And Ronaldo Rodriguez, meanwhile, is 17-2. The guy keeps showing up. The guy keeps cutting amazing promos, and the UFC is now sticking him on a main card in this one against Kevin Borjas. And we think that the odds makers are sort of seeing a little bit too much into Borjas and still underestimating Ronaldo Rodriguez. And to me, it's almost because that fight against Ode Osborne maybe was a little bit closer than some had anticipated. And the fight before that, Denise Bondar, I guess you could say it was kind of close before our boy Lazy Boy got the finish. But for me, it's been noticeable improvements for the homie Lazy Boy. And Borjas, I don't think is going to be built like that to go into a raucous Mexico City arena and find a way to upset Lazy Boy. So what are your thoughts on this one? 17-2 is our boy. It's the meat lock for a reason at -142. How does Lazy Boy get this one done over Kevin?
Yeah, Lazy Boy is definitely going to absolutely demolish Kevin. I think Lazy Boy is just such a significant better fighter. From the grappling to the striking, you really name it. He is just beginning to end going to decimate him. I think if I had to pick on how he's going to win, it could be submission, it could be KO. I really doubt it's going to be decision. I'm going to go with KO second round.
Yeah, Tapology is overwhelmingly going with Lazy Boy, and majority is going for that beige decision. 92% in fact going with Lazy Boy, only 8% going with Kevin, and I guess majority is decision. You're going with the KO though. What gives you life that Lazy Boy could be the one to sleep Kevin? Because if we look at Kevin, I mean, he did just get slept by Alessandro Costa, but this is a dude who, when losing, does get dominated by decision, and Lazy Boy is kind of a decision machine. So is Lazy Boy going to pick up his first UFC KO in this one against Kevin?
Yeah, no. Lazy Boy is definitely gonna get a KO in the UFC. I think on Kevin. Kevin just coming off a fresh knockout. It's almost like did Dana White them want this to happen? It's like, hey, this guy has a glass chin now. Easy work. You have a lot of KOs, but not in the UFC yet. You can get it done. Become a star. So this just kind of the stars are aligning. It's gonna be first, second round KO. Easy, light work.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. There could be for sure. I'm ultimately going to go submission by Lazy Boy in this one, but I'm hoping he goes out there and absolutely sleeps Kevin. Easy light work in the first round. But nonetheless, it's an easy light work, easy meat lock for the homie Lazy Boy. Keeping it simple, throwing down an easy 142 to net 100. And Kevin's getting smoked in this one. Lazy Boy cuts another epic promo. And any last thoughts on the meat lock?
No, it's gonna be one heck of a promo. Pretty funny. It's a great fight. Another meat lock.
Yeah, the kid's funny for sure. And swap us through that, me boy, because it's the second Rodriguez on the card, namely C-Rod, and he's fighting on the prelims. It's our second breakdown, but he's a little bit lower on the card, and he's taking on Melky Costa. And this, to me, is a very interesting fight. Firstly, because we were just discussing, Melky Costa just fought like a month ago, got a beautiful first round finish over Andre Touchy-Fili, who is a true level sets at 145. So for Melky Costa to have really just sort of ran through Andre Fili, that easy light work, I think says how good this kid is. And it's interesting because C-Rod is another dude who we pick every time. Meat Boy Amazing all over Christian Rodriguez, but the odds makers historically love to place him as anywhere from a +150 to a +300 dog. And finally, they're realizing that every time they do that, they get burned. And C-Rod now is coming in as a -166 favorite against Melky Costa, who has 3 times the fight experience and is picking up some beautiful finishes. Whereas C-Rod, we know, is going out there and getting W's, but they're always by decision, right? The only finish that C-Rod has was an anaconda choke over Joshua Weems, who is not good. So what do you make of this one? Do you abandon the C-Rod ship now that all the odds makers, everyone is backing him and sleeping on the 30-fight veteran that is Melky Costa? Or is C-Rod simply that good and is even going to get a light work victory over a guy as talented as Melky Costa?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and man, I gotta go with C-Rod. I think C-Rod is just such a good fighter. He is the favorite, which makes me worry because whenever he's a dog, that's a guaranteed lock. But glad to see the respect he's being given. I gotta just imagine that after the dominance and how good and like the people that he's been beating and how well those people have been doing after they lose to him, I think people are starting to realize how legit C-Rod is, and so that's why he's the favorite in this one, which is a rare case for him, and I think he's gonna win this also.
Yeah, it's interesting because Tapology is still riding C-Rod in this one, right? And I don't think that we've ever seen C-Rod get a majority on Tapology, but he's finally getting the odds makers respect. He's getting 65% on Tapology. 35% though is going with Melky, and majority is Copper for that sub. So do you agree that if Melky Costa finds a way to get this one done, that it's likely going to be a YOLO sub finish over C-Rod, similar to how Julian Erosa caught him? Because if you remember, I mean, C-Rod just got caught in that gnarly guillotine choke, and Melky Costa has kind of proven to be an opportunistic submission artist himself. So is that Melky Costa's best pathway, submission?
Yeah, I think it is a good pathway for him to win by decision. I mean, sorry, submission. But I don't know. I think C-Rod's grappling, his jiu-jitsu, everything. I think it's a little bit higher level than Milky Costa, so I think he should be able to defend. I don't know. I really don't see any way that C-Rod loses this fight, to be honest.
Yeah, good stuff. Appreciate the bullishness because this is one I've been kind of going back and forth on. Ultimately, I'll lean with you. I'll trust your gut that C-Rod is even at this level to have the skills necessary to take out Melky Costa. But for some reason, I see this fight ending in a split decision. I think it's going to be close, and I don't know. If there's a bullish pick from me, it's that this fight ends in split decision. I think this fight goes a distance. I think it's going to be close, and I'll ever so slightly edge with C-Rod, but Melky Costa is pretty sick, and I've been picking against Costa. I definitely picked Andre Fili over him, and I don't know. This could be another one of those fights where he's reminding everyone that similar to how C-Rod has been showcasing how good he is, Melky Costa's been doing the exact same thing as well. So I'll ever so slightly roll with you. Take C-Rod by decision. You're going C-Rod by finish or decision?
I'm gonna go C-Rod by finish.
C-Rod finish. I got the ever so slight split decision. Let us know in the comments if you're taking Rodriguez or Costa. But nonetheless, people swap us through because this is another fun one. It's Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Vince Morales. And the last time Rosas Jr. was slated to fight in Mexico City, he unfortunately got a stomachache in the back and was unable to make the walk. So we were discussing, off air, why isn't Raul Rosas Jr. getting the co-meet event slot in this one? And it must be just that. Perhaps the UFC just doesn't yet have that full faith confidence that this youngster can go out and deliver in the most eyeball prime spot. But nonetheless, it seems like a very easy, light work, free W opportunity still on a main card against a guy in Vince Morales who hasn't won a fight since 2024 and hasn't won a UFC fight since 2021. I mean, if you remember, this dude had lost basically 5 of 8 UFC fights, gets all over the map, goes to ex-MMA, goes to Ryzen, most recently fought in the United Fight League, but he's back in the UFC, has lost 2 straight since being back, and this is likely the third and final fight on his second fight deal, and they're feeding him to Raul Rosas Jr. as an easy light work victory. So what do you make out of this one? Any chance Vince Mo comes in and upsets the Wonder Kid, or is this another easy light work finish for Raul Rosas Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, they're really this guy is gonna be the next big megastar. Um, just like Brandon Moreno. So they don't want this kid to lose. This kid is a megastar. I mean, we were looking at the socials, like we were talking about how, these guys, who's the most famous on this card of these lower level dudes, besides the main event, Brandon Moreno, and it's like, oh wow, Raul Rosas has 1 million followers, more than Gastelum, Joey Peanut Butter Piper. Like that's actually crazy. I didn't realize he was that popular. So Dana White and the UFC, it is their worst, interest to make sure he loses. So they're going to give him another potato head, get an easy light work done, avoid a C-Rod level fighter, and they're just going to slow sizzle him to become a champ one day.
Yeah, by that, it's definitely in their worst interest to see him lose for sure. And I think that this should be an easy light work finish opportunity. Do you think he goes out and gets a submission, maybe even a ground and pound TKO? Is this maybe a finish or bust style fight for him? Or can he go out, grind out another impressive decision over a guy in Vince Mo who doesn't win fights and still elevate his profile. Because you mentioned, I mean, he's got a million plus followers. He's already pretty big time. But is it time that he starts really finishing these cans?
Yeah, I think he should be able to submit this guy. Hopefully, early and often. Put on a show for his, home country and all that. This should be a good one.
Yeah, I hope it's a finish similar to how we got over Ricky Tercios. That was a performance of the night. He did the same thing against Terrence Mitchell, the Alaskan Bullworm. That last fight against Arichi Lang, though, was decision, and I hope that doesn't become a trend because it's fun when Raul Rosas Jr. is going out there getting finishes, especially early, and then having some fun with the Chihuihuis on the mic for sure. So I'll take Rosas Jr. in this one by finish. I'm going to say second round ultimately. I think maybe Vince finds a way to survive 5 minutes, but ultimately succumbs to a TKO ground and pound in round 2. Officially, what round are you saying the homie Raul gets this done?
I'm gonna go with round 2 via submission.
Yeah, we're both going round 2 for Raul. Let us know if you think Vince Mo gets finished earlier, or does Vince Mo somehow pull a rabbit out of his hat and sleep Raul? But nonetheless, me boys, swap us through because it's your boy Joe Peanut Butter Piper, as mentioned earlier, taking on Kelvin Gastelum, and Kelvin Gastelum's plus 240 in this one. Joe Piper is close to minus 300, and it's a fight that Kelvin Gastelum this week has been coming into it with a kind of a laser in focus. To be honest with you, the dude seems dialed. He's saying he feels disrespected by even getting this fight. He said that he was looking up in the rankings and didn't even have Joe Piper on his radar, but in the next sentence said, I realized that, I'm getting a little bit older and now I got to start fighting the young guard. It's crazy to think that Kelvin Gastelum at this point is kind of an OG, but the game is moving quickly and he basically is. So in this one, is Kelvin Gastelum sort of reflecting on a past that is no longer there and is anticipating himself to still exist in title talks when perhaps he no longer belongs there? Or is there something to his anger, something to his resentment? And as an ultimate levels test as Kelvin Gastelum is, perhaps this could be too much for Joe Piper. Who are you taking this one?
Yeah, this is a levels test. This could be, a Jack the Joker 2.0 outcome. But I think Joe Peanut Butter Piper has leveled up significantly. I think he has learned his lesson. And honestly, I think he's going to knock out Kevin Gastelum. I think Kevin Gastelum is better. He's unaware on who he's fighting, and he's taking it lightly. And so I think that's going to be his downfall. And Peanut Butter Piper, man, he's got a new set of hair. He's looking sharp. He's sounding confident. I just don't know how he would lose this fight. The odds being minus 300, kind of disrespectful to Gastelum, but just shows that everyone loves that new head of hair he's got. So yeah, Peanut Butter Piper is definitely getting this done.
Yeah, good stuff. 86% of Tapology is rolling with Joe Piper, majority Brown for that KO. So they think that he's going to go out there and absolutely sleep Kelvin Gastelum. If you're taking Joe, are you bullish on that KO finish for him? Any chance he picks up a submission? Or could this be a close grindamite style fight and he ultimately wins a decision? If you're taking Joe, how does he get it done?
Yeah, no. If Joe gets it done, I think he's going to win. I'm gonna go with second round KO, but it wouldn't surprise me if he KOs him in the first. To be honest.
Yeah, the win over the power bar I thought was pretty impressive, and the fact that he was able to sleep him in literally less than 90 seconds was really a beautiful outcome for Joe Piper. In this fight, any chance we see some grappling from Kelvin? And if so, do you worry at all for Joe Piper, or could Kelvin be like the perfect opportunity for Joe Piper to showcase how slick he is down there? Because we didn't really see much of that versus Jack the Joker. But apparently Joe Piper is, an elite grappler. I believe you've said at one point that he can give Sean Brady trouble. I mean, obviously he is a bigger dude, so that could make sense, but we know how high level Sean Brady is on the ground. Could Joe Piper showcase some skills there, or are there any concerns that if Kelvin tries to take this fight to the mat, that maybe he has an advantage there?
Yeah, no, man, if it goes to the mat, Joe Piper is going to have such a big advantage. I think he's going to pummel him, KO him on the ground, or crap, even submit him. I mean, we saw what Sean Brady did to him. Joe Piper would probably do the same, if not worse.
Yeah, that's a good point because Sean Brady literally just fought against Kelvin not too long ago. I mean, that was Kelvin trying to relive the welterweight glory days, and obviously that didn't work out. But great point nonetheless, and it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think that there is some truth to the disrespect maybe within the odds, but I'll roll with you, meat boy. I will take Joe Piper in this one. I don't know. This fight might be close though, and I think that this fight does go the distance. I'm ultimately gonna take Joe Piper by decision, and perhaps maybe Kelvin wins a round, but it's going to be, I'm hard pressed to believe that he can go out there and finish Joe Piper, and I don't see him winning multiple rounds against him. So for me, officially, it's Joe by decision. You're taking Joe by finish?
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna get it by finished. Man, first or second round to be honest.
First and second round finish. Meat says for Joe Piper, I have the decision. Let us know if we're sleeping on Kelvin Gastelum or if this is another easy light work setup for Joe Piper. But nonetheless, meat boy, two to go. Swap us through to the co-meet. It's Manuel Shorty Torres taking on Drew Dober. It's basically a pick 'em. Minus 120 is the slight favorite, Manuel Torres. Drew Dober plus 100. And for me, it's kind of a make or break fight for Drew Dober. I mean, to me, this feels like the UFC is appreciative of all the fights that Drew Dober has had throughout his UFC career, always stepping up, fighting guys on short notice when need be, because he has lost 3 of 4. His only recent win was against Ricky Glenn, and that was a nice performance of the night finish, but it hasn't been great for Drew Dober, and he's taking on a kid in Manuel Torres who also just lost, got finished in the first round by my boy Nacho Bahamondes, but before that, they were trying to really build him up. He got a nice first round finish over Chris Duncan, who has kind of been peaking lately, just got another finish last week, and I think this is a rebound opportunity in front of his home crowd and a solid co-meet opportunity as a little bit of a bone for the Drew Dober perspective. So, what do you make of this co-meet? Are you sold that Manuel Torres is at a high enough level to take out a guy as talented as Drew Dober, or is this the fight that Drew Dober needs to get back on track?
Yeah, no, this absolutely could be the fight for him to get back on track, but also this could be where he's kind of the perfect fight for this guy to fight on, the co-meet and knock him out because Drew Dober's been getting snuffed lately. Drew Dober's not afraid to turn it into a dogfight, which it's a 50-50. It's whoever connects to the chin faster wins. There's no logic, there's no technique. It's just swing, drop the chin, and let it rip. High school backyard street beef style. And so I gotta pick Drew Dober. That's my boy. But it wouldn't surprise me if he also gets knocked out. Drew is not the brightest fighter, but he's also like he's not. It's not that he's not bright. It's he's aware that he's there to put on a show. He's not there to make it pretty and points and be lame. So I'm a big Drew Dober fan, so I'm super excited and I got to root for him on this one.
Yeah, 100% pull your pants up, bro. Street beef style contest, no doubt. Drew Dober always brings the YOLOs, and against Torres, I think Torres will be exchanging just as recklessly because these two dudes should meet in the middle, throw down. I don't see this fight honestly going to a second round, and if it does, it's just going to be an ultimate all-time slobber knocker. But in this one, I'm going back and forth. You think it's probably going to be a drag him out slobber knocker as well. So if that is how this fight materializes, who does that give the advantage to, and ultimately who are you taking? Are you taking Dober or Torres?
Yeah, I gotta go with Dober. I think Dober's got the advantage here. He's got the experience, he's got the power, he's got the kicks. He's gonna make it a gritty, ugly fight, which that's where he loves to be at. And I think he's just gonna wiggle through this one and get it done.
Yeah, Tapology is leaning there too. They're taking the slight dog, 59% rolling Drew Dober, 41% going Torres. It's basically all brown on both sides. A KO is imminent according to Tapology. I've been going back and forth in this one, Meat Boy. I think that this fight is going to be over quickly, and I'm gonna roll with you. I'm gonna take Drew Dober. Torres, I don't know. I got to see it to believe it. And while I do think that this opportunity is scripted primarily for him, he still needs to go out there and get a finish. Because again, I don't see this fight going the distance. And perhaps if it does, then maybe he gets the hometown judging. But because I think this fight ends early, to me, I think Dober has a better chance of finishing Torres than Torres does finishing him. But nonetheless, I am excited for this fight. As far as like drag him out slobber knockers, this is one of the most entertaining street fights on the card. So the fact that it's a co-meet to me isn't the worst thing, I suppose. But we both got Dober first round finish, eh?
Yeah, Dober first round finish, 100%.
let's see if Dober still has one left in the chamber or if it's the Torres era. But nonetheless, boy, swap us through the last one, a fight that Steve Erceg earlier this week was proclaiming his shock when offered a a meat event opportunity against Brandon Moreno. But it seems the UFC is still as impressed with what he did against Pantoja in that main event title fight opportunity. He obviously lost, but they still have high hopes for him given that they're allowing him to fight Brandon Moreno in a fight that I'm pretty excited for because Brandon Moreno is obviously a legend at this point. The dude is one of the best of all time at the division, and to me, it's a fight against Urseg that does have some danger. So I don't even want to bury the lead, meat boy. Who you taking in this fight? Tapology is overwhelmingly bullish on Moreno. He's a close to minus 300 favorite. Any life for Urseg, or do you too roll with BMO in this one?
I think it's going to go very similar to Kaikar France. I think it's going to go very similar to basically everybody that goes versus Brandon Moreno except for Figgy or Pantoja. Brandon Moreno is going to decimate him and demolish him. I think pretty bad. I think it's going to be a one-sided beating, and I'm super excited. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that. I mean, him coming off this loss, he just got knocked out. Brandon Moreno is going to destroy him, in my opinion.
Yeah, Kai Kara France finished him early, easy light work. We were very surprised by that outcome. And obviously, the last time we saw Brandon Moreno, it was just a start to finish decimation over Amir Albazi. And that was one that we could take some pride in, me boy, because you and I were all over Brandon Moreno on that one. But if you remember, I'm pretty sure Albazi might have even been the favorite. If he wasn't the favorite, he was a slight dog. But there was a lot of people in the sphere that were picking Albazi. And we are like, this fight's not even be close. I mean, if Brandon Moreno arrives as even a sliver of his former self, then even that version will smoke a guy in Albazi, and we got just that. So this kind of feels similar, although Brandon Moreno is now having the more appropriately inflated odds for sure. So in this one, do you think that's going to be another dominant decision for Moreno that similar to how he did over Albazi, or do you think that given the fact that Ursag just got absolutely finished easy light work by Kai Kara France, that perhaps this is a finish opportunity for Brandon Moreno, who hasn't gotten a finish in a couple years?
Yeah, no, Brandon Moreno is definitely not getting finished. But I think Brandon Moreno is going to do the finishing this weekend. I think Urseg, I don't know if he's. I mean, it kind of just showed in that last fight where like he looked great versus Pantoja, but then gets snuffed by the bully beatdowner himself, Kai Kar, and we see what Brandon Moreno does to Kai Kar the two times he's fought him. It's not even close. So I think Urseg maybe had an off night. MMA Math isn't always the best, but I gotta go with Brandon Moreno. He's been proven to be consistent, and he doesn't lose to anyone unless you're the best.
Yeah, and you mentioned Moreno versus Kai Kara France. He finished him with that belly button tickler. So easy light work for Moreno. He probably does the same in this one. I'm going to roll with you. I'll take Steve Urseg. I'm going to say, though, that Steve Urseg puts up a good fight and makes it to at least the fourth round. So for me, the pick is Moreno by fourth round finish or fifth round finish. Maybe even it goes the distance, and it's one of those fights where we're celebrating Steve Urseg's toughness, we're admiring his grit, but it's an easy light work, decisive unanimous decision for Brandon Moreno. But ultimately, I like Brandon Moreno late. I like Brandon Moreno in dominant fashion, whether it goes all 25 or whether he gets a finish in the later moments. But for sure, the pick is Moreno. Are you bullish on the finish?
Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on the finish to be honest. I think Moreno's gonna get it done. Belly button tickler 2.0, just like he did to Kaikar.
Yeah, I could see it for sure. Let us know if we're tripping and Astro Boy is your pick or is Meat Boy your pick and Moreno all the way. But nonetheless, Meat Boy, UFC Mexico City in the books. We broke down 6. Last week you killed it. You went 4-1. I believe 2 weeks ago your record was similar. So you're on a tear. I was on a tear a few weeks ago. Now it's to you. This week, do we both suddenly go 6-0 or are we both getting wiped at 0-6?
We definitely both could be getting wiped 0-6, but I don't think so. I think this one is going to be a 6-0. Definitely the meat lock is cashing, that is for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go 6-0.
6-0 for you, Lazy Boy for sure as the meat lock. I'll probably go 4-2. Something will get tripped up somewhere, but nonetheless, people, UFC Mexico City in the books. Any last thoughts?
Nope, this is a great fight. I think it'll be a better fight card than last week's. Super excited. you.